Let's go. And we're back for another one. Underground World News Live. Here on this hot June 23rd, 2025. Much love to everybody out there. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream, gets it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. Thank you, Deanne, Lowrider, D. White, everybody that backs and supports the channel. I appreciate you 100%. John Boy in the house, Geo, Mo Money, Tony, Bulletproof, Suede, Walk with God, Wolf Club. Good to see everybody. Hope all is well. Again, hope you're staying cool out there. I know it's hot here. This is not going to be a super long stream here tonight. But we're going to get everything knocked out here, as we always do. Thank you, Flip. Thank you, everyone, for the feedback. We're going to start off here. I mean, you can see by the title, Gentile Messiahs, fake peace deals. And it is all a PSYOP. That's the main theme of this whole thing. When you do this for so long, watching everything through a microscope every day, day in and day out, weeks, months, years, decades, you start to notice a few things while everyone else is off, in the rat race doing their thing. But when your job is like zoned in to this stuff constantly, you notice the orchestration within it. Nicole, welcome to the underground. It doesn't matter what it is. Yes, things happen every day, every week that we got to report on because they're happening. But I'm here to tell you that a major aspect of our lives, major aspect of our lives is all scripted. It's all planned and plotted and then rolled out by the powers that be, so to speak, here controlling everything. And it affects everything. There's no way I can talk about one thing these days without it affecting the other. Obviously, the war and everything popping off, a major theme and a major concern. But is it really? The major concern is right here in this country. The ones that have sold us out. We've known this. Some of us have known this for decades. Some people fell asleep or they got enchanted by the occult dark magic of MAGA. And they fell into it. That was a huge trap right there. And, well, people are waking up now. They were starting to lose a little bit of a grip on the MAGA base. And as we get through this whole thing, you're going to see that really this is all about just controlling the masses in different ways, whether it's lockdowns. The PSYOP is huge, and it has different elements, different levels, different layers, different stages are presented in this theater of war. It's literally like a play where they roll out a different stage, drop the curtain, raise it. There's another one. It's like that. We're very close though to where they're trying to merge Ukraine and Israel as united allies big time on the world stage, and that would basically be one massive war front right there. And we're on the verge of that. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, but it seems a lot of these things have been set up to where Trump can come in on the back end and be this false prince of peace. It's kind of lightweight scary because you can see it's happening. He has been chosen to do it. Dubbed the Gentile Messiah. So somewhere along the lines, he was going to start striking up these big peace deals. And if he can lock this one in with Iran right here, I don't know. You're going to see tonight just how scripted this is. I'm going to show you elements of this that show you hands down that this is scripted. Okay? It's all scripted. This isn't how a real war plays out. Okay? And most of the base that are brainwashed out there are not going to believe it. They're not going to listen. They never do. And oh well. Anyone that just wants to keep believing lies, that's on them. When they're presented with the truth, if they want to get ticked off and shun it and everything else, that's on them. At least it came and was presented to them. They can never say that it wasn't. It was their choice to ignore it, to deflect it, because they were, again, inundated with this dark occult magic called MAGA that has taken over their lives. It's blinded them. They literally forgot about Jesus. They literally forgot about Yeshua, the Most High God. Literally, I've seen this with my own eyes. People that claim to be religious, all this other stuff, they spend more time worshiping and doing the things that Trump wants and says in their lives rather than anything that Jesus asked for. They won't live a certain way. They won't give up certain foods. They won't do those things. But they'll show up to a Trump rally, right? Whenever to do whatever. And look, it's okay to be out there to support someone, but we're past that. We're past the Joe Biden, Donald Trump stacked head to head. You got to pick one, choose one. We're over that. All right. So everyone that voted for Trump, now the Trump, you've got to hold him responsible. I, for one, I see this for what it is. It's one big establishment, and this is just the color of the week. This is what they got everyone to fall for. So this is their main prize. They don't want to lose control of this because whatever he says, they do, which is, again, is scary. All right. This federal government is not your friend. Anyone trying to get you to fall in love with it and think so is an enemy. And if you can't see that, well, then you're just buffaloed. You're going to find out the hard way. Some of us done been through this and try to warn you. No, you don't want to hear it. Too much winning with your MAGA. We're just getting things started here tonight. I have to preface the whole show because that's what this is about. It all circles back around to where we sit. If anything happens to us from here on out, it's a setup. I've told you before, it's a staged event. All these world events are basically giving a reason for blowback. And we're going to cut through a lot of stuff tonight because the things are changing like per the minute. And like some outlets are reporting some things, others are saying other things. First, as I said, it's a hot one. I hope you're staying cool out there. If you got anyone that's elderly or just has breathing problems, anything like that, I check on them here a couple times throughout the week. Make sure they're good. Tomorrow's going to be like the extreme peak. And they're putting out a warning here saying maximum generation alert. And this is for the entire Northeast here on this block. As you can see right there on the screen, all these areas that are serviced by this PJM service territory. There's been some issues today. I tweeted out some images of substations that were on fire in multiple different places around the New York region, New England region. And you can see here power blackouts hit parts of Queens, NYC. Con Edison urging energy conservation as the temperatures spike. And there was some questions, what happened at these substations that just went up in flames today. Some are saying, was it terror, this and that? Would somebody take them out? It's always a possibility. It's happened many times in the past several years, but the high heat can also do this. It looks like these may be high heat issues. Several different substations going up in flames, and then you've got thousands of outages. So, just want to make sure people are safe and prepared and aware. I'm sure most of you are feeling the heat out there. So it gets deadly and super dangerous. David Craig says ceasefire's over. Now we ain't even got into that. Like I said, I just got started here. But again, from here on out, anything happens to this country, internet goes down, power goes out, the banks get froze. Like, it's a staged event. Don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever forget it. Don't believe that it's any one of these enemies out there. Somebody let them do it. Just like somebody let other people come in and pull off staged false flag events time and time again throughout history. We're sitting in the same position. So here's a heads up and a warning for folks out west that like to go to Lake Mead to cool down. Apparently, Lake Mead is America's deadliest national park. It's pretty crazy. What's going on here? Like, I mean, this takes out Four Corners regions, all them really arid places. You can see here in terms of deaths, 317. I was going to say Grand Canyon has to be up there somewhere at the top. And it is. It's in second place. But for whatever reason, here we have Lake Mead topping the list. Now, you've got Grand Canyon, Yosemite National Park. Then you got the Blue Ridge Parkway, which runs through Virginia and North Carolina. Tennessee Smoky Mountains, all that right there. To name a few, you've actually got the Great Smoky Mountains down here listed. Tennessee, North Carolina. Bear attacks, big cat attacks, the weather, drowning, different medical issues, suicides, even. All this stuff is listed on these deaths in these parks. But Lake Mead, a lot of drownings are happening. Obviously, it's a huge lake. If you recall, here in the past several years, especially a few years ago when it was at its record lows, we had some guys on YouTube going out there and they were documenting what they were finding, and they were finding old boats, and then they were finding barrels, and then they were cracking some of these barrels open, and they were finding bodies, bones, people that had been murdered and dumped in Lake Mead many, 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 many times. It's like a dumping ground for bodies. I wouldn't want to be swimming in it. I wouldn't want to be drinking it. I wouldn't want to be doing nothing. If you want some pure, pristine, what I've come to find out, because people are everywhere. You think you're out in the middle of nowhere, there's people everywhere. And even if you think you are out in the middle of nowhere, all the things got to be right for survival. But a waterway is key to everything. It's what they call blue line, one that flows all year long. Now, from what I've seen, what I've tracked and traced, there are some they're hard to find, pure blue line water lines out there that run a vast distance. Because as soon as you run into people, you run into garbage, you run into trash, you run into stuff getting dumped, everything else that you could think of. They're running their sewage into waterways. Skeeby, thank you. I appreciate that to the fullest. So, you think you're just going to go to this pristine waterway and lay down in it. Well, you better be checking what's going on upstream. I'm telling you, because upstream, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be something that's letting out into that waterway that's not right. What I found to be, if you get lucky enough to find it, get a piece of property that has that blue line running through it, or basically starts on it. Not even so much running through it. If you've got a good piece of property where the watershed all funnels down into it, and before it gets to the main artery, that's where you're going to get your cleanest mountain water, with no businesses above it, no houses, no nothing else around. Anything else is going to be off that main line that connects all the hollers, all the mountains, and all that. That's going to be contaminated, man. It just is, because again, all the people that just don't care out there. But if you're lucky enough to find a piece of property that captures that watershed all day long, you get that crystal clear water that doesn't have anything to contain it. Just saying. Let's jump into the world events. Oil, after spiking, crashes. Does it pump and dump? Stocks turn around and soar. Gold, crypto, jump. Dollar, everything jumps. Why? Because the Gentile Messiah struck this false peace. Okay? And if you're anyone that's in the markets and you're watching them and you're trying to pay attention, make heads, tails, this stuff, you've got to pay attention, because if you're in something, market could dump 1 second, it could do this, it could take back off the other direction. And it's dangerous to FOMO into the tip of something, into anything, because oftentimes right off those drives, it comes a pullback, and then you find yourself almost instantly in the red. So gold's been on a constant tear. Crypto is controlled by the NSA and is influenced heavily by the markets in what goes down. Each time there was news about, Iran and all this other crap, it dumped out and all this, and then took all the rest of the stuff with it. And it dumped out probably 30% of cryptos outside of Bitcoin the first time around. And then here recently did it again. There was like $400 million taken out, liquidated, shorts and longs in the whole market. And it's almost as if it's done on purpose. It's ridiculous. When you look at some of these charts and the way some of these things go, some guys say they're in the TA doing technical analysis, is that they don't pay attention to any news and that the news doesn't matter. It's all about TA. Well, that's absolute garbage, because the news does matter, because it's the news that rocks it and shocks it every single time. Jay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat and the support. What? Somebody says, Academy Auction says, at W7 Niagara Falls and Niagara River turned blood red yesterday morning for a full 10 minutes and no explanation. What? If you got any links or anything on that, send it to me. W7@yahoo.com. And please put it in the title. If you guys are going to send me anything, please put a title, what it is, and don't just leave a blank link. I'm never going to click on it, open it. It's just wasting your time. And Desire for Truth sent 20 memberships. Everybody got there that just got them. Welcome to the underground. So, if you can read the title, it says, and yes, this is a premium article. It's too good for us peasants. They can't afford it, so you can't tear into the whole thing. But the article, the headline was good enough, and there was other ones out there, but all I needed to point out was the headline. Look what it says. On scripted Iranian retaliation. That's right. For anyone showing up late to the game or just trying to get caught up on what's going on, the events that happened tonight, U.S. bases getting hit and everything else, was 100% scripted. Sure was. To where Iran only launched 10 missiles to begin with. That's what was reported. Again, all these things change back and forth a little bit in variation, depending on the outlet. And it's not just CNN saying, one bad thing. Some other people out there need to get with it, man. You need to see past all this, all the mainstream circus. It's all there designed to push narrative. So people sitting over there, oh, Fox News said this, but screw CNN. It's a bunch of BS. It's just like, dude, like it's all BS. Like you're so, like, you think you figured it out, but you haven't. As long as you're stuck in the left-right paradigm, you're stuck in the left-right paradigm. I'm beginning to think some people like it there. But you can stay there. We're pushing on. The quicker you wake up from this, the better for everyone here. But this is scripted, all right? Look, what happened today is we got word that within hours, at any time, U.S. bases are going to get hit. Now, Bitcoin and other markets, they done tanked. They done long before this. So insiders that already knew well before any of you could make a move, dump the market like they always do. Okay? Take all this value off the top. And they did it. They did 30% the other day. All the alts and everything crypto today were back 20%. So that's a 30%, a 20% right there that is jacked within a week on people. And this is how they do it. They zap the market this way. NPNY. Thank you. Qatar, Kuwait, Iraq, all the U.S. military bases in those areas today got warnings that they were coming under attack. Then we find out, because it was made public, Qatar, which was there was a lot of chatter about this beforehand. They said they shot down every single missile or whatever that came through. And then Iran trying to say that the U.S. base has been destroyed, but there were no casualties. Then both sides said there was an agreement made where Iran reached out to Qatar in advance and let them know that they were about to start raining down missiles. What? Like, are you really pissed or are you not? Are you really pissed that your nuke stuff just got hit or not? Like, I'm telling you, the world's a stage. See, I've got this figured out. Some of us do. Look, years ago, we caught weapons being distributed going back and forth. And we caught Iran and Israel in cahoots. And we knew at that point, especially all the way back when Israel was supporting Hamas. Do you know anything about that in the very beginning? Just like our governments, one moment are against Al-Qaeda and ISIS, but then on the other, in another moment, they're supporting them. Just like supporting the freaking ISIS leader in Syria, Jolani. Are you kidding me? Like, the world's a stage, man. They make these guys just like they made Osama bin Laden. Just like they use them. They use their aura. They use their image. These guys could have been long dead like Osama, and they still would use him. And then in the end, oh yeah, we caught him, we killed him, and threw his body out in the ocean, off a boat. No proof. Like, get out of here. Like, these guys are masters of deception. But they do kill. Don't get it twisted. Killing is at the top of the list. It's this deceptive killing. It's not what you think. War is not what you think. It's actually big time money masters controlling both sides. Our leadership sold us out. Russia's has sold theirs out. Xi Jinping, China, all the same thing. All the same thing. We're all sold out. So they sacrifice our men and women to go to these war fronts to get slaughtered because they need it. They need sacrificial slaughter constantly. All right. And gold for whatever reason. It seems to me this is all for fallen. This is all for the fallen, who they really worship. Gold, sacrificial bodies, left and right all day, every day. That's what it all stacks up to me. And this is what is wanted by the hierarchy, Lucifer, all the way on down. All the jinn, very real. A lot of people are missing this aspect. They're missing that you're dealing with wizards. I will say, I just watched a clip of Roseanne. Somebody sent it to me. I don't have it. I wish I did. If somebody's got it, drop it. So if somebody can find it, if you've seen it today and you could send it to me, I'll play it. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Just put Roseanne clip. If you can find it, let me know. If I see it, I'll pull it up and I'll play it on the show. Roseanne is asked on a very recent, this week type of podcast by some gentlemen, who runs the world? So, knowing Roseanne is in the club and she plays her part, I was interested to see how she answered this. And she said half-truths, which are always very important to put out there for them. She mentioned that the kings and the queens and all the stuff of the world are in control of all the stuff, which is, they are lightweight. But not one name mentioned of the Jesuit Rothschild control on the whole thing. And again, no mention of the fallen aspect. But I will say, as she was naming, and see, this is important because there's levels to this. People got to awaken in levels, right? For the people that are just able to, they can't handle like me tonight because I'm too much truth, but have to take it little bits and pieces and may get a little tidbit from Roseanne. She said, wizards. She said the wizards that control the world. It's important. So there was She threw something out there. It's about as best you were going to get, but it was there. And anyone that's paying attention has to be like, what does she mean, wizards? Like, wait, yeah. Some of us been trying to tell you the whole time. You know that MAGA, by definition, MAGA means it is the fifth rank of satanic hierarchy. Don't you know this? Maybe not. It sure is. Just look it up. Okay? It's all witchcraft of the highest degree, of the highest level. And it's more than just saying, ooh, it's witchcraft and exorcism and all this stuff. It's a real thing. It's a real practice. It is a real thing. The jinn are real. It's what tempts you every day, sexually, for drugs, alcohol, to do bad things. Yeah, that's what this whole place is about. Yeah, we've got this part figured out too, but the rest of the masses don't have a clue on it. Okay, so the witches and the wizards cast the massive spell. They've got a majority of the U.S. population under it, and it worked because you stacked them up against a horrible Joe Biden. What's sad is their small minds are being used now. They're them not being able to think outside of the box and see the bigger picture, and see that they're being played, that they've been kettled, is what's got them caught. Some are slowly waking up to it. When some of these horrendous events pop off and Trump's to blame, and we're over here complaining about it, at some point, people give way and like, okay, I see what you're saying. Other people are going to stay MAGA to the end, okay, and that's fine. That's their choice. If they want to stay blinded to it, that's their own demise. I'm in this for waking up to the deception, for yanking down the curtain, for showing everyone what is really going on, okay? And this whole thing is a play. This whole thing is a stage. Straight up. Every bit of it is scripted. Every bit of news that's released is timed to influence markets to do certain things, certain cards played at certain times. But it's one big club. You're not in. Or maybe if you're the Fed listening in tonight, you are. But maybe you should think long and hard about what you're a part of, because you too know it's true. You know what you took an oath to do and what you worship. Skull and Bones is not a mystery. It's open knowledge and not a conspiracy. And shows you proof that the Republicans and the Democrats are together in on this behind the curtain to start there. Okay? Then when you catch up, we can talk more on all that. But both sides playing you like a fiddle. And this whole thing is scripted. So again, you've got to see that before we can go any further. It's all the truth. And as you hear the quote, as above, so below, a lot of the stuff that they do matches events in the heavens. May not mean much to you, may sound like some tarot card mumbo jumbo, but it's not. They follow and they track the moon, the planets, and going through the constellations, especially retrogrades. It's huge to them. And we've got a big one this year. Remember this window. 4 planets will be in retrograde for a small window starting November 11th, 11/11, going to the 28th of November this year. It is a prime window for something massive to happen. You just remember I told you about it way in advance. Way in advance. But whoever listens. I've been sitting here telling this stuff for a decade, trying to get people prepared. Some do, but my biggest prop is we're so censored. We need to be reaching millions, man. We're just not going to get to them. That's why I thank you guys that share the stream, get it out there in front of other eyes. People got to wake up. They got to start seeing what's happening here. They're going to have a lot of questions when these bigger events go down, and they're about to. So let me start here. Widespread GPS jamming was happening in the Straits of Hormuz. 6 super tankers stopped and turned around. All types of stuff was going on here. These guys just said, we're done. They turned around, go the other way. This caused the markets to shudder. And they said, well, it's going to spike. The only reason right now that I could say that it's coming down, like we just talked about in the other headline, is because the whole Trump peace thing. which we're going to tear into, and we don't even know if it's true. He said they obliterated all the nuclear sites on the ground, obliterated them. That's not the case. He literally lied about it. They did not obliterate it. Okay? They knocked out some key above ground stuff, and we're going to tear through it all. Okay? So, look, if you're glued to the mainstream, they're going to be jerking your chain so bad, you're not going to know which way's up or down. That's for sure. We've seen just here tonight so much different news coming out from different outlets. It'll leave your head spinning again. So I'm going to keep going here. Rambo, even if Iran does not close Hormuz, insurance cost will soar, pushing oil even higher. Well, we'll see if that happens. Only time will tell, right? Let me get an update here on COVID. That's right. I hate to even say it, COVID. This razor throat variant now found in 15 states. At some point, they're going to try for another push. I mean, Mr. Warp Speed is back in office, Gentile Messiah, whatever you want to call him these days. Trump is back in office. And thank you, Barbara, for the payback, for the support. And we got this. Oh, and it's a YouTube clip. Dang it. I was hoping it wasn't YouTube. Okay. I'm going to play this audio. Hopefully, I'm not going to show the video because I'm just going to play this audio, though. This is the Roseanne. It's called Who's Really in Charge? Roseanne Barr. If anyone wants to go look it up, it's a YouTube video. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, those that help out. Thank you for sending me that link, Carolyn. And getting it. So I'm going to play the audio here so you can hear what I was talking about. Okay?
Talking about who's funding
the owners of the world.
The owners of the world. Who's that?
You want me to say who the owners of the world are? This is where everyone starts asking me. I love this, that you would ask me that. I might have to have a cigarette. It makes me nervous to say who they are. First of all, I've been saying it for 30 years, and people, when I tell them, their eyes just go dead because they cannot handle the truth. Remember that Jack Nicholson movie? You can't handle the truth. You don't want it. But it's so obvious that I just will say it. The owners of the world are the royals, kings, queens, dukes, duchesses, imams, popes, wizards that own every single dime on earth and bank at the Bank of International Settlements.
There, she gave away, that was the hardest truth, from the wizards to the Bank of International Settlements. Like, she did drop it there. But again, how many even soaked it up? I mean, she dropped it. So I'll give her those props there. I want you to hear it, And thank you, Mock. Thank you, all you guys that come through. I just want to point that out, that, like, this is real. You are dealing with real spiritual demonic warfare here. That's what we're up against. And part of the trick is that it has people fooled. When you wake people up to it, you break the spell. So you're literally you're fighting with good intention, warding off the evil when you're breaking the spell. When you're waking people up to the truth of this, you're breaking them free of an evil spell. Truly, you are. And that is a mission from God. I mean, it's just like exorcism, if you ask me, on the same level. Because you're awakening them and you're running that spirit out of them. You're getting it away from them. You see? And you have to be conscious and aware that it's even happening to begin with. So again, knowing is half the battle. I want to keep it pushing here. This one was pretty crazy. We had a church massacre that was planned where a dude rolled in an active shooter situation, started opening fire, and like the bystanders around it sprung into action and saved the day. This was in Michigan on Sunday. They say the speedy reactions of church deacons and 2 staff members here saved the day. with the deacon unleashing the first blow with his truck before a security guard and another staff member polished off the assailant with gunfire. So the drama played out at a Cross Point Community Church in Wayne, Michigan. It's in a western Detroit suburb. Police identify the dead shooter as Brian Anthony Browning, 31-year-old white male with no known connection to the church. He arrived at the church in a Nissan truck shortly after 11 as a special vacation Bible school service was underway. It was teeming with children. He was wearing a tactical vest, carrying both a handgun and a long gun. After gaining attention of staff members by driving recklessly outside the building, he exited his vehicle and opened fire on the church. That's when he met a swift and decisive 1-2 punch. The deacon saw the shooter moving toward the church. He immediately turned his Ford F-150 pickup truck into a two-ton weapon, hitting the gas and running over Browning as he was firing all these rounds at him. That bought time for staff members to engage him with. So they ran him over, and then as he lay there on the ground, they lit him up. So they got, I mean, you don't see or hear this every day. Of course, none of that, that's all the gory stuff. It wasn't caught on camera, but a part was caught on camera. Everyone inside being told to run and flee. Not a single life was lost, innocent life here, lost. And I'm going to play this clip. It just shows you. I mean, and thank God for our rights, Second Amendment, the fact that good people can carry out there and that there's good people out there that can act swiftly. So a combination of guys coming to the rescue here, save the day, no doubt, taking out this crazy. Anyone rolling up to a church, I don't care what your excuse is, especially with children in it, this is the outcome you should expect right here. When like there's a million other places you could have took out your aggression out there. You're not touching the children in a church. Like, it feels really fetish to me, to be honest with you. But here, I'm going to play this.
For those of you who participated, thank you so much. There was a lot of energy to corral in every day. And our songs helped do that, and so did our games. But that doesn't mean that we didn't have time for Bible stories, science experiments, snacks, and learning important Bible verses that the kids could take with them. We hope that after the service you'll stay and move around the foyer and let the kids tell you about the great treats we had this week, and have some too. Thank you.
Here goes panic.
Come on, everybody to the back. Please, everybody come to the back. Come to the back, Don. They gotta come. They gotta come. Come on.
Come on.
Go. Out, I don't think is a good idea. Come on, Aaron.
I mean, you can see some of the older folk here moving a little bit slower. Unfortunately, in a shooting situation, I mean, that's just the nature of it. That's how it is. Look, you've got, I mean, people, wheelchairs or walkers or whatever else. You're going to have that. They're never going to be able to get up and run out full speed. So you've got people that are literally sitting ducks in these situations. So again, a hallelujah and praise to the individuals that ended this. And thank you, Robert J. Williams, for buying a coffee. That is the best way to support the channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate it to the fullest. Yeah, one old lady waited for another old lady. The rest left them, huh? Like, yeah, it is what it is, man. But at least you had some heroes outside that stopped anyone from getting inside the building. So let's go to this next piece here. The technocrats here stand to profit as a 250 million acre bonanza is hidden in HR1. This is a little known provision, and these goons are getting caught doing this all the time. We need to shed light on it. Bring what's done in the dark into the light, okay? So they can be exposed. This little known provision in the Senate's new reconciliation bill isn't just about selling public land. It's about stripping the local communities of control. And it's when you dive into it, it's scary. Yes, this big, beautiful bill includes language which impacts the Endangered Species Act, and specifically its private's right of action. So this is getting old, man. They're hiding stuff like the AI in the big, beautiful bill, tyrannical stuff that your state can't go against for 10 years. It's hidden in this stuff, and usually they would have passed some of these bills, like the big, beautiful bill. I call it the big, ugly bill, but it's been stalled out, which shows that people barking back, it's working. Us chirping back, opening up conversation on social media, on Twitter, on X, or on Facebook with your senator. It is politely asking them not to support something. How hard is that? Very few people do it. You wonder why we're sitting around here like up a creek without a paddle in most of these instances, because people don't do much. If people got more active, I mean, you're already on a list. Like, I mean, do you really want to live and die and sit on the other side and say, well, I did nothing? I didn't fight the fight. I didn't share. I didn't do the simplest things that I could do to help fight the fight. Do you really want to be that? Because it's like walking into a cafeteria. I'm going to be sitting as far away from you or anyone else that didn't do anything as possible. Like, some of us are here to fight this fight, the good fight, because we know a higher intelligence is watching. We're on the clock. We're not getting any younger, you know. And this isn't for nothing. It's to prove something. I know you wasn't taught all these key things. We were stripped of this. But some of us have gained this knowledge, and we know there's a way out. You have to walk the way of righteousness. Jesus told you time and time again. I don't know anyone else that embedded hidden within what they said more than Jesus. He literally spoke everything in parable, which means something's hidden within it. And people don't go looking. Again, using small mind. You have to start expanding your mind here. Looking deeper into these things. Someone left something. When you unlock what is hidden inside you, when you unlock the sixth sense, as I call it, the chrism sense, this what I call knowing, when you unlock it, you'll see these things. But you can't cheat it. You can't unlock it by smoking DMT. You got to walk righteous. You got to raise the chrism. You can only raise the chrism, your oil of gladness, as your Bible calls it. You can only do that by walking righteous and doing the things they ask. But most people do as thou will. Like Aleister Crowley. They do whatever they want, eat whatever they want, live however they want, smoke, drink, have sex with whatever they want, do whatever they want, like animals. And the purpose here is for you to master this realm. You should be working on mastering this. Most people just sitting there, let it slip right on by. Anyhow, I've told you time and time again, I'm going to keep pushing here. You either want to change, want to advance, or you don't, and you will stay here. Supreme Court hands Trump a win here on illegals. Now, they're saying the worst of the worst illegals can be sent to third world countries, like a third country, meaning just any old country. They could ship them to Africa if they're from South America. Like, they don't care. Like, right. I'm cool with all that, right? If they're illegals and they're murderers and all, I'm cool. That's fine. But I don't trust these people. What they put on the books isn't always just for illegals. It's to one day affect all of us. Then what happens when you're sitting in a North American Union court And they're saying, well, we don't want him. He's found guilty of going against the establishment. He believes in Jesus, and he won't condemn him. Let's ship him out of here. Ship him out of here to Guantanamo. Or ship him out here to another country. Whatever. Like they're doing. Do you see what's coming? Am I stupid? That's why I tell you all the time. With Tom Homan rounding up all these groups, we have got Jade Helm, a military operation happening on our border, live right now, that we warned you about for years. No one wants to, acknowledge it, but it's happening. The military sprawled out all across our border. Strike teams going all across this country. ICE strike teams going into businesses, going into warehouses, taking everyday people, getting them all lined up, IDing everybody in the warehouse. Which is because you think you look more American or this and that, you didn't think you were going to get asked, you were going to get a pass. When ICE comes into someone's business, everyone has to show documentation and prove who they are. As militant gunmen roll in asking for this. That's what it is. Now, whenever these things happen, God gives me visions, like future visions of where this is going. And I see them being used, rounding everyday people up in this country, these teams that reject the mark, that reject the next jab, which I believe will be the 666 patented Bill Gates Luciferus jab, which was never used, which exists. And it's just sitting there on the shelf waiting for the next round, which is going to happen because you don't run a beta test for nothing. You don't lock a whole planet down and do a practice run for nothing. This is the little back to normal life buffer, your last bit of normalcy you're ever going to get in history. Do you understand? I'm warning you. I'm warning you. I've taken this dead serious. I spent all the past 5 years of my life preparing for what's coming. I don't care if it takes 5 more. Okay, I don't care. It's coming. I know it's coming. I'm just not stupid. I see they ran a global beta test. You don't do it for nothing, man. Another one's coming, and people just want to, let's go to the ball game. Let's do this. Now, that's cool. That's cool. Do all those things. Live life. Get it in. I'm going to tell you, do it. Get it in. But prepare as well. Don't live blind. Don't go to the ball game like, oh, but nothing's ever going to happen. You should be going to the ball game like, yeah, it's one of the last ones we're ever going to be going to. Like, it's enjoy it. Let's get it in. Because when they clamp down with this next round, look, you're being told all the warning signs. You're either just ignoring it, like most do, unfortunately. You're going to get caught off guard, unfortunately, after you listen to all these nights, all these times. That's my biggest thing is, I don't know. I'm in this to try to save as many as possible. I guess that's why I'm here all the time, doing these live streams, spitting the truth, and I care. I want people to make it through these events. And it's all scripted, man. You got to know who the enemy is. I don't know what they're going to do first, last, second. I'm not promised tomorrow, but I got a pretty good idea of what's coming. I know the different cards. I don't know maybe the timing, which one they're going to lay down first. I may not know exactly the day, but I know the window, and I know the cards. And look, man, we're at a pretty interesting spot. This whole stream is centered around the events that just went down with Iran and Israel, and continues to unfold here because it's pretty fluid. An hour before, it was talk of nuclear exchange. And then it's peace, and then no, it's not peace. Then it's yeah, it is, but then no, it's not. And thank you, Minx, for the coffee. Best way to support the channel right there. Appreciate it to the fullest. Okay, so when I see this, I fear the day when Americans are going to get deported. It's either that or executed, shipped off to some Alcatraz island like they're talking in Florida, like I showed you in the last stream. Alcatraz, down there surrounded by alligators and pythons, where they're not going to put up a fence. They say that if you guys want to break loose and you want to try to run for it. Gators going to get you. They're going to kill you. It's like a death wish. That's pretty crazy, but they're seriously doing it. What happens when it's purebloods? What do you think they're going to do when people don't want to take an inoculation? But people are really dying. You know, this is going to be screwed up because when people are really dying, you're going to hear a lot of the people that call themselves purebloods saying, well, I've lost 5 family members, Dabu. This one's real. I'm taking the jab. Well, then you do whatever you do. That's your choice. That's your choice. We knew it was going to be real. Like, why are you mad at me? Sounds like your butt hurt because you just went and you took the what? The mark? The jab, because you took it? Like, whatever. Like, we told you all this in advance. It wasn't going to be easy. The last time was a beta test. It was a cakewalk. It was nothing. It was nothing. There wasn't bodies stacked up everywhere. Although they did, in the very beginning, try to fearmonger that, remember? All these Chinese, they really used the Chinese crap hard right at the gate, but I ain't falling for it again. They tried here recently to do the same thing, kick the whole thing back up out of China. It was picking back up, and it was, thankfully, America, by and large, seemed to reject it. Like, But here, I just showed you, the whole COVID thing, razor throat, 15 states, they're still trying. My thing is, I don't know if it's going to be bird flu. I don't know if it's going to be another variant of this or that. I just know it's going to be a deathly thing. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter what you want to call it. It's going to be real. Is the answer getting an inoculation? Nah. Dude, like, you make your choice. You can make your choice. Because you're going to find out at that moment that you're going to have to go, like, break away from society. Like, you're going to have to, like, I can't buy or sell anything, you're going to come and say. And I'm like, where have you heard that before? Your Bible. You know what time it is. Right then. When this next one goes down and it's real, and you're going to have to show proof of it because bodies are dropping, that's what you should be prepared for. That's what I was shown years ago during this fake. So I've been getting ready. It's going to be militarized lockdown. Do you hear me? The real deal checkpoints and everything. Everywhere. Not just the state boundaries. And we saw that during the beta test. Remember? Essential papers, all this. Couldn't even go from Georgia into Florida without stops and all that. Remember? Or did people forget? Why they do it? It's a beta test. Something you do, it's a pre-op. It's what you do pre-massive operation. This is a global operation. These are massive. These are also tied in with black magic. It's all being done, orchestrated with the other side. So keep it pushing. I almost didn't get the stream off tonight because it was so hot, but everything was glitching. So I'm just, whatever I got lined up here is important. I don't think I lined them up the way I normally would like to, but let's jump into Trump going off on Thomas Massie, calling him a bum. He's a rep out of Kentucky, and he's one of the very few that was standing against Trump this whole time, saying, Trump, we don't need to do this. This is not our fight. This is Israel's fight. Why are we jumping in this? Right? He calls him a bum and to get him out of office ASAP. All because he didn't back him striking Iran. Which in many aspects, people said could lead to World War III and all this other stuff, and still could here on this world stage. This is not over. I know some people tonight are sitting there with their pom-poms like more winning, blindly not seeing what's about to happen with the next 9/11 type of event about to happen. MGT jumped on board with him, with Massey against this, and was starting to show that there was a contingent, a growing crowd of the Trump base, like getting restless, not liking this, not liking the whole war thing. Like we didn't vote for war is what they're saying, and that's good. Let them wake up. Let them wake up. So they quickly they shifted these things. Look what this next one says. Trump's attack on Iran will not destroy the America First movement. And you see, and they're addressing it because it's a key thing to them. They want to make sure they don't lose control of the base. They fought hard for this magic trick to get this massive base there. And as long as it's there, they can get them to do whatever. It's like a dog and pony show. As long as you got them corralled, you can kind of get them to do whatever. If they get outside of the corral and they wake up and all this other stuff and they break loose and get free, then they're free. See, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to break these people out the corral, out of this kind of a prison they put themselves in. So America first, right? So I don't have cable television, but I can tell you now, again, 10 different outlets saying 10 different things right now this evening. I could already see from the X feed, all over the place, people arguing over it. And I'm like, hold on a second, like stop, like look what you're doing. Seems to me that's trappish. When you see all this confusion being kicked out there, and now everyone's arguing, like don't argue, like this step back and point out what they're doing. They're dropping a plethora of different stuff here, confusing everyone, and it's gonna, don't fall for it, man. Okay. So what were the headlines saying right before bombs dropped on bases today? Okay. That Trump was mauling regime change. Right after they were saying that, no, he would never do that. It's like, okay, what is it then? John Bolton puts it out. And see, they're all in on this, man. All the characters. He says, Trump did the right thing, striking the nuclear weapons. He says, now on to regime change. That's John Bolton tweeting it on openly. He's putting it out there openly. Okay? So, Qatar confirming they intercepted all the Iranian missiles. No casualties. Okay? How? Well, they got a phone call and they were told by Iran hours beforehand, yo, heads up, we're going to send this volley of missiles at you. Get ready to shoot them down. What? What? Like, you remember where I started this whole thing? The show tonight? Scripted. It was even in the headline. It's so obvious, but everyone's saying it. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean called them and all? Like, what is going on here? Like, this war off. Ha ha. Open your eyes and see. Have your they live moment. See it for what it really is. This is all scripted. The world is a stage. This is why they call them theaters of war, literally. Okay? So you are seeing this bleed through in the open. They don't really like this, but there's nothing that they can do. Cat's out the bag, and this is what it is. Like, this was staged, and it was weak. And, like, that's why I tell you, if anything happens here, they let it happen. They can blame Iran. They can blame China, Russia. Just pick the boogeyman, man. They've got them lined up willing to take the blame at this point. They don't care for the history books. Something is about to happen in America. Man, oh man. You think that all these things are going to go down and there's going to be no blowback? But world's a stage, right? Look what we just saw. Look, Israel was striking Tehran, bombs dropping in it. when we watched bombs dropping inside of Tel Aviv and everywhere else, and they were hypersonics, they were dropping, they were raining down. Moscow has been getting hit with drones and all this other stuff. Kiev has been getting hit and pounded and all this other stuff. What makes America untouchable is this what I'm thinking here. Like, at some point, like, somewhere's about to get hit. Like, like, there's bombs raining down in major cities in countries that, like, you would have never thought. Like, past few years, we'd never thought, Moscow would be seeing this. Tel Aviv, even. Tehran. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what tomorrow's headlines, what they try to pop out. It feels to me like they're going to try to paint this situation where Trump is making peace, and we're going to get lulled into a false peace here, and then you know what happens then. You get hit by the train. They scream peace, 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 and then, yeah, like, oh yeah, prepare for lights out. Uncommon says, yes, this. How they're going to go about doing all this, again, I don't know the exact order, but it's about to happen. I just have a plan for sure at this point, somewhere to go. Iran and their military spokesman, and this is this evening, okay? So they're trying to say Trump has made peace and there's a peace deal and all this stuff's going to happen, right? And that's on one side of the coin. Well, Iranian military spokesman here is threatening Trump and says that warriors of Islam around the world are going to launch a powerful and well-planned operation. And they said, you started this, we will finish it. That's what they're saying. Oh, you've got peace. Everything's peaceful, huh? Everything's peaceful, huh? I don't trust a word they're saying. It feels like just to lull everybody back into, of course, we're not falling for it. You've got on the other side of the coin, these dudes issuing war. Like it's going down. Like, get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Think these guys are like, oh yeah, just forget about it tonight. Like, I don't think so. Also, if it was all peace, as Trump's trying to spew out his mouth, why is Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah posting photos of America burning and the American flag burning, saying we will not surrender to anyone's attack? Huh? Riddle me that. So they are telegraphing war, not peace. Only one that's saying anything about peace and telegraphing it is literally Trump and his administration. Everyone else, on their social media, look, the jihadists, the Ayatollah and freaking self, they're not saying nothing about peace. So, like, who are you going to believe? Trump's truth social posts constantly? Or, I mean, it's, I don't know, sweet Polly purebred. Thank you to the fullest. What's this one say? And if you missed it, if you don't follow me on X, make sure to follow me on X. Should probably pull up where we at here. Past top the hour. Much love to everybody out there tuned in. Want to thank everyone that joins the stream. Anyone that supports the channel through PayPal, Super Chats, buy me a coffee. It's all appreciated to the fullest. On X, you'll see that I posted an image in DC on the rooftop on the federal building right across the street from the White House. You'll see here a surface-to-air missile defense system has been deployed atop a federal government building just across from the White House. You can see it here, and you can see them up there manned on it at another angle. And this is in place now. They're going to have stuff like this in many different locations, especially around, DC, potential targeted areas and areas they're going to want to protect. Every other city don't have this, though. And if something is launched, like drones, I'm telling you, man, remember the Obama movie that they put out? The drone swarm was launched and all this other crap. It was dropping jihadi notes and all that stuff. I'm telling you, man, they were telegraphing some stuff. All the cars getting hacked. They were telegraphing potentially some stuff we've yet to see. And with the drones, hacking, cyber attacks, and launching a drone attack, especially from the Mexico side or something, like hundreds, if not thousands. At the same time, you couldn't stop it. You could not stop it. In all the closest cities that would be targeted right there on the border, they'd be sitting ducks. All of them. With no way to stop it. Maybe a handful get taken down, if you're lucky. But if you're sending thousands out of nowhere, getting launched from the Mexico side, it's a nightmare. Makes no sense to launch new hypersonics from there. Hypersonics get their advantage from being used pretty much at a certain distance where you can shoot up into subspace and come back down. And that's how you gain all the hypersonic speed. And they come... That's why they look like a little ball of light sitting in the sky in some of them clips in Tel Aviv and Tehran. And this looks like a little ball that kind of moves a little bit, and all of a sudden it just comes right on down. That's what it's doing. It's coming in from subspace, going way up high. There's no sense of doing that when you're right at the border. You have to shoot it straight up in the air at that rate, and it just... You would get to your target quicker, just from point to point. It would almost seem as... And with drone swarms, man, they're having every place. We don't know what can happen until they test our border. We don't know what we got. So what's this say? Additional resources are being deployed to religious sites. So is that all off too? Is that all off too because of this false peace they're talking tonight? Are major U.S. cities no longer on alert? Huh? What's the next one say? Oh, Trump said it was a spectacular military success. They blew up and obliterated these underground facilities. But these images are not of the attack. They're not. That's what's that say? The aftermath of an Iranian missile on Tel Aviv is what that is. So, like, dude, what? Like, let's go to the next one. The Iran regime says the nuclear sites were evacuated a while ago. Didn't suffer a major blow. So, Mr. Trump over here saying that they obliterated everything. You didn't obliterate much of nothing. They moved everything out. We've got it even on satellite imagery, then shipping everything out, all the different stuff, right? And you would think, though, that if we've got that they had to watch and see where stuff was taken, right? But the world is a stage, right? Okay? But they packed the tunnels with dirt after taking all this out. So it helped mitigate the blow at these sites. Like, they knew well in advance, almost like it was scripted. I don't know. Like, somebody called in advance and said, hey, we're about to do this. Here in a few days, you might want to get ready for it. Kind of like Iran turned around and called Qatar and was like, hey, get ready. We're going to launch these missiles. Get ready to shoot them down. What is this? A circus? This is pure staged garbage. This is all staged in the open. If you are the least bit awake, you can see at this point, this is all scripted. This is global scripted crap. And they're really using the mainstream media to work one over on the people here. They could have someone in the other room believe in something else because they're watching a different channel at this point, and they have two people arguing in the hallway. Would they not? Would they not? Yeah. That seems to be where it's at. So satellite imagery, as I said before, flags unusual activity at the Fordo nuclear site just days before. And you can see here, when they zoom in, that is exactly what was going on. You can see in these images. They were moving truckload after truckload after truckload of all these supplies and all the stuff out of there. Which, again, if that means you should have been able to watch them and watch where it went. Why didn't you snipe it? The world's a stage, man. World's a stage. I mean, we're asking real questions in a real military, in a real world event. You'd be taking that stuff out, but no, world's a stage, man. This is one of them curtain drop moments, man. I've been showed you and told you here tonight. All this calling back and forth, letting the other side know that you're about to attack. That doesn't happen in a real war attack. Even if we get hit and blowback, man, it shows it's all staged. It's all staged. Ain't nothing happened to us this whole time, just unscathed. No, nothing's gonna happen. I don't believe it. I believe something huge. What's the next one say? DHS puts out an alert. I guess this doesn't count anymore too tonight, Trump, since you made peace out of your own mouth. I mean, that pseudo satellite imagery. Yes, A. Barnes. So here we go. DHS alerts the public on an Iran retaliation threat. Cyber attacks is their number one weapon. So again, are we to ignore this now? Because Trump comes posting on his Truth Social that there's peace and all this other crap, but we to believe it and just believe there's no threat. All these things we were told in the past days and weeks and years and all this other stuff about these threats, is it all go out the window? Huh? You telling me after you just drop bombs on them and all this other stuff, tried to obliterate the stuff, that nothing's going to happen now? There's going to be peace? Well, I guess we'll see. But cyber attack seems to be at the top of the list if something happens. If there's any retaliation, and things are just going to go down. Banking sector, maybe power, the grid. You know, right now we're under this massive heat dome we're baking under. We just so happen to be baking under. All they would have to do is take down just literally a couple. I showed you in New York, a couple caught fire and left thousands of people in the dark and without AC and all this. Just imagine if in the next day or so or whenever, or under this oppressive heat, this happens. I'd have a plan for something like that. It's on the table for sure right now. Nothing's off. Like, we're in a war atmosphere. So DHS putting out this alert, and it's not been retracted. Okay, what's the next one? What's the next one say? Let me say it again. I guess this one doesn't count too, huh? What? The U.S. ramps up surveillance. Why? Fears of Iran-backed sleeper cells. So what tonight, Trump? You just call them up at all their sleeper cell locations, strike up peace deals. I guess they're packing up their bags, hopping on the next flight out of the U.S., and we're all good, right? Garbage. Something huge is about to happen. Huge. They're going to turn this place into an all-out war zone. It ain't even begun yet. But the cartels and the border, it ain't even begun yet. Card hasn't even played yet. They've been saving it. They've been literally been sitting on it, saving it. Steve, thank you to the fullest. Sleeper cells, huh? You just warned us of cyber attacks, You just warned us of sleeper cells, all this stuff. So is that all null and void now? I don't buy none of it. I don't buy none of the peace stuff. It just seems to like, that old saying, they'll be screaming peace, and then all of a sudden, it's what it feels like. So yeah, if you missed it, they're warning us there's sleeper cells all across the country. 4 years of Biden, 20 million illegals flooding in. You don't think that these guys weren't part of it? Oh man, we're done. I hope you have a plan, a place to go, or something. We've covered. At least we've done this. We've covered the top things that can happen here. Really, the most realistic things that would happen here. Okay, top is being a cyber attack, which can hit a plethora of things. That can cause a lot of chaos. They can hit the water in many cities, or they could just target one city. They could hit the power again in large portions of the country, or the whole entire thing, which would be a legendary, crazy move. They can attack the banking, the internet, the communication, and all that, cell phones, everything you could think of. Every show I tell you that the Iranians, the Chinese, all of them are training troops, and you can see them. They got pictures of them inside of warehouses training to take control of our infrastructure. They don't really have to hack it in because they're already embedded. Christopher Radon told us this much. This is an absolute setup. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's like watching some WWE wrestling. It's 100% scripted. If you're one of the fools sitting over here still buying that it's real, I'm like, come on, we got 6-year-olds over here now that's figured this out, that it's fake. You need to see through the solution before it's too late. Man. All right. Anyhow, preach it to the choir, right? Sleeper cells, though, I can't stress it enough. Sleeper cells is a big deal. You come out saying this. All right, dirty bomb threat. All right, assessing Iran's retaliation capabilities. Dirty bomb is being spoken of and telegraphed. Okay, dirty bomb, which would be a smaller, more tactical type of nuke. But well, it depends. Dirty bomb could be made of any kind of material, not just like nuclear, but you can get any kind of radioactive anything out there going. If somebody wanted to, they've got them detectors that you can buy that sometimes get stolen, and I do reports on. They've got small amounts of radiation and stuff within them. Technically, you could take one of them and blow it up somewhere, and it cause a contamination, a dirty bomb, so to speak. They're talking more large scale of a dirty bomb though here. And look at this. Look at this next one. When I see these headlines, because I pour through the headlines, right? I'm watching the headlines. Always watching the headlines. Always. So when I see certain themes pop up, they kind of stick with me, especially when they're not even the same story. They're different stories, but it's the same theme. So dirty bomb. What's the very next one say? Amid media saturation, the Kremlin decides to add one more nuclear headline aimed at Kiev. Okay? What's it say? Responding to a topic of discussion that came up during President Putin's attendance at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. On Saturday, they warned of possible attempts by the enemy to create and use a so-called dirty bomb. And it would meet a proportional response from Moscow. Oh man, the false flag is thick in the air right now. In the talk of all this stuff, exchanged all of a sudden nukes and but it's peace, and man, I don't trust none of them, none of it. One war front, they got you looking over here, something pops off over here. We've long been waiting for a mushroom cloud out of the Ukraine territory. And Putin says that he's being very arrogant with this, and it just shows you how far this war is going to go. Unless their Gentile Messiah, Prince of Peace, can strike up a peace deal here finally out of Ukraine and Russia. And of course, they would give Trump the credit because that's what they're doing here with all these things. But Putin says all of Ukraine is ours, in theory. They took over Sumy. They are taking over. They're going to take it all over. Like, Zelensky in Ukraine has got to come to their senses, or they're about to get pounded out, absolutely pounded out, and they're going to have nothing left. Seriously. That's what's happening. Russia is just stomping them every which way. And what's Russia saying also? They're ready to help Iran. They said that Iran has every right to a nuclear energy program, in that Medvedev threatened and warned. He says that there's countries that will give them nukes. Trump went on a tirade on Truth Social. Said, this clown really say this, blah, blah, blah. But if they're an ally and it's a real war type of situation, why would you not? But there's more to this than just, sending them over some nukes. All right. Because there's realities to this. Okay. For real nuclear ICBMs. Okay. Would you stop and think about this? For real ones. First off, they take an entire team of specialists to run and operate. Okay? Whole production. To run it, guys that are trained to launch it, they have to have the right codes, all this other stuff. It has to be done. And they have to be housed in a certain location where they're maintenance and they're done, all this other stuff. Then Russia has to ship it there. And you got to do all this inconspicuously and hidden and all that. Just in sending it there, it would create a nuclear program on the ground, because you would have to have the people on the ground to take care and to do all these things there. So if any country decided to send it there, all these things would have to be go in motion. You would have to stock all these weapons somewhere in there to begin with. But at this point, with all eyes on Iran, man, it seems to me that some kind of dirty attack is about to happen. I just told you, dirty bomb, telegraphing it. It could very well be here. Something's about to happen. Something. Let's hope it's not a dirty bomb. One of our main cities. That's something I never even mentioned. I never even put it on the table as a possibility. Because I don't know. It'd be pretty horrific. It's definitely an option. I just feel that when I think of some of these events, I think of cleanup. When you're the elite. And what you're really doing here, what this is all for, what they want. Right now, I know they want the whole world issued into a new way, a new global order, economical. They want everyone on this beast blockchain system. So cyber attacks in the banking sector reign big here, and any other factor of life. They could shut down again, power all over the place. I feel like if you're dropping tactical nukes on cities, that doesn't help them in that department of the reset. It just doesn't. It doesn't help shift everybody over. It just doesn't do much for them in that category. And it leaves a city that is potentially tainted for a long time you can never go into, and all these other issues. And just with one dirty bomb, just with one tactical nuke on a city, it's bad news. Like if you had one strike and you were really going to do it, you would do an EMP over the country. But even then, you would have to be wanting to kill everyone pretty much in the country, because it would fall apart. The place would fall apart with the EMP. It would never be brought back online for a long time to come. There would have to be a cleanup process in the midst of it, and it would be the cleanup of nothing but dead bodies. Because literally after just a couple weeks, the people would kill themselves. And see, that is a more advantageous thing. If you are the criminal elite and you want all these people dead, and say you don't want to release, you ain't got the kahunas to actually release a deadly bird flu. Like you've planned and you plotted it, but you guys are sitting there on the edge of your seats knowing that if it screws up, it's 28 days later type of crap, and you can't get a hold of it and it gets out of hand, everybody's smoked. You know what I'm saying? So another way to kill a lot of people is to EMP the country. But it doesn't stop at the border. You would hit Canada, you would hit Mexico as well with the EMP, and you'd put all North America like in the dark. And people would become like cannibals. Like, I'm laughing because it's the only thing I have left to do here. It's really not funny at all, but this is what it would turn into. People would be killing each other over the last can of soup in the street. It'd be horrific. But that would be good for them. When you're the bad guys, put yourself in the shoes of the bad guys, that would be good for them. Because we're killing ourselves. They don't have to fire a single shot. And you just let the people sit back and kill themselves for a few months. And then go in and play cleanup. And cleanup just wouldn't be any old cleanup. It would be blue helmets. Under the guise of international help and aid. Now, guess what? Even Russia sent some help. And oh, dude, it's sickening. It's going to be sickening. Sickening. When you see the Russians, Chinese, all of them under blue helmets. It doesn't matter. They're all in blue helmets here under the guise of international peace. And see, they're going to be coming to bring warm blankets, a fresh meal, and a shower for you. It's what the UN's going to be coming, trying to load you up in a truck and take you to a camp, you see. And that's the end game scenario. And they're already building camps right now all over the place and all around the border under the guise of housing all these migrants again. So, off to the next one. They're now warning that the woke army, they're trying to connect the Dems and the dark money, Soros and all them, to Iran in our streets, saying that they could launch jihad here, and they're all connected. They're trying to say that they're all connected. Now, we know that they're connected to some degree, but like this really just plugs it right there. It just shows you that you've straight up got Soros and company connected in with places like Iran that like work together. They have the same interests to like bring down America. Man, that's like, how could you not be arresting George Soros and anyone connected there tonight? How could Kash Patel or any of them not be doing it? It's ridiculous. This is a stage. I'm telling you, when Dan Bongino Patel came out and said Epstein didn't kill himself and all that, and then it couldn't even hold a straight face on the cameras, like you could see him cracking. Like, this whole thing is fraudulent. You can't trust the feds. These are the same feds that killed John Lennon, JFK, RFK, MLK, Malcolm X, Tupac, Biggie, Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Joan Rivers. It just goes on and on and on. Do you understand? Like, this is a cartel. It's a mafia. It's what it is. Trump is the president of the mafia right now in the United States. Is what it is. It's the best name that you put on. It's a satanic mafia. It is. That's what it is. It's a satanic mob. It's not calling it names. Like, like it's high school. That's a true label for it. It's a satanic mafia. Dark MAGA, dark mafia. And you wonder why he came out and did it. He just put it in your face. Elon did. Wasn't enough to come out and it all be a cult. He had to go dark MAGA on ya. Had to go super deep. And like, do you still not get it? The guy in the Baphomet costume and the upside down cross telling you that they're trying to summon this demon, the world's richest man. Like, some people are just so ignorant. They won't see it for nothing. They're literally following the beast. It's minions. We're sitting here calling it out. That's all we can do, right? I pray to the Most High God in heaven to send forth someone with a lot of money that can wage war against this beast. Just to do it. Throw some blows, man. Hit him with some uppercuts. Something. Like something, And I know in the end, like, who can wage war with the beast? That's why I pray to Yeshua, Jesus, Most High in heaven, to return with fire and separate the wheat from the shaft. To burn these tares up. It's literally going to take a higher power. Like, all the countries are sold out. Why would they do that? Why would they ever do it? Like, well, for control and power and this and that. Well, yeah, it's all about control and power, but it seems like it's beyond them. To me, it's not just them. It's the fallen. They're doing this for who they worship. And like they're pawns in the game because they don't have the courage to go against them. And anyone that they're shooting at, in my opinion, is probably at 99%, it's the good guys. Anyone that our government and everyone's shooting at, saying, "Oh, well, you guys are the evil ones. You guys are in the dumbs underground with the reptilians and the grays and all the low level, low frequency, low vibration scum that's playing this whole game." So somebody else coming in, that would mean that they're above that. They're not low level scum, right? Like you, if they're shutting down your nuke plants, they're shutting down your missile silos. You don't think maybe, just maybe, there's some good guys in the equation? There has to be. Scientifically, there's a yin to every yang. There's a mirror to everything. There's an opposite to everything, every atom. So as much evil as you see that exists in this place, and you know it exists, there is good. Okay? And the jinn are real. The devil and Satan and all that's real. Look at it every day. There is an opposite to that. That's where you should keep your faith and hold it at all time. You are that little bit of light of white in that darkness, like in the yin yang. That's where we're at right now. And we are the remnant, man. I don't know what other name you want to put to it. It's all been spoken. We are here. We are now. We're like lightweight walking right into tribulation. But I signed up for this. So, yeah. I didn't sign up to like live a life and to like ever even have to think about coming back in here. Just to see the hellish end? Like, let's just get it on with. Like, I feel like that's right now. That's the one that I took. That's the ticket that I bought. Was to ride the end time out. To be able, as a soul, to say that I lived and I died in the end of days. I lived and I died from when all this stuff went down. In these days and times. All these people that lived and died. When we've lived, you lived when they lived. Legendary people. In it doesn't come close to living like in the time of Jesus, but like, do you know the sacrifice that was made by Jesus? Seriously? Like, people forget, not just by Jesus, but like everyone around him. Do you know what they did to all these people? Like, you always hear of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Do you know that every single one of those people were tortured and murdered? Was it Luke hung from a tree? Was it Mark dragged through the streets by a rope around his neck till he died? Boiled John in oil. Peter crucified upside down. Every person that believed in Jesus out of his main crew died a horrific death. Do you understand this? The persecution is real. And a bunch of people in this life are going to bow down to evil. It's the sick part about it. They're going to bow down to this beast. They're going to forget about Jesus, about all this, and they're going to bow down to the beast. Take that mark, the easy way out, and they're going to go into the beast system. Thank you, someone, for the coffees. I do appreciate that. That is the best way to support the show. Right there. Buy me a coffee. Thank you, mods, for dropping the link in the chat. And thank you guys out there for joining us here tonight and for sharing the stream. Look at what this title says. And again, I go back. I keep having to fall back because it's all PSYOP. There's peace tonight. There's peace tonight. Well, the State Department issues a worldwide caution for U.S. citizens after all this. So is that gone too? Is that out the window too? Cyber attack alert, the DHS alert, now the State Department alert, all this stuff. Sleeper cells alert, all this, man. It's all out the window. Just forget about it all of a sudden, huh? Go back to sleep. Echo. Go back to sleep, Echo. Deep sleep. It's just like Wizard of Oz, and they hit that field where they all fall out. That's what they got them. They got the whole base, Trump's base, just gone. They just got them. Hook, line, and sinker. That's the scary thing. You wonder what's going to make the beast system? That base. A majority of that base. That's why it's the base. That's why they did it. That's why they corralled them. Who else do you think it's going to be? Of course, it's going to be people from other aspects too. There will be people from the left that fall for it. It's anyone that falls for this game, left-right paradigm, either side. So it's not just Trumpers or anything like that. It's anyone that's fallen for the left-right paradigm, that falls for the system, that believes in it and buys into it. I want to play this clip. This is rather comical, if you ask me. This anti-ICE terrorist, as they call it, and it's just a protester, has a weed whacker and like tries to hit the ICE agents with it, and they take him down. It's lightweight comical, but like they'll probably give this guy, I don't know, if he's a white male, real American citizen, they'll probably give him 20 years to life. If he's and illegal, they'll probably he just slap on the wrist and out of here. It's got no volume.
Hey, ¿por qué le pegas?
Oh, they're pounding on him, punching on his head, man. Pounding him in the back of the head. Oh my gosh, dude. Another fed fucks.
Yo estoy grabando.
Bang offside. Hit him up. They pound the crap out of that dude. Still going at it. Some of these guys are supposed to be. I really do. I traveled across this country covering protests, man, from so many different cities, and I kid you not, man, like many different many different cities I'd show up at, and it'd be the same goons starting crap and doing stuff. And it's just like, they love it. They live for it. Just like I live for being on the front line, the adrenaline rush, and like filming it. I guess they loved it for the same. Besides filming it, they loved it for the rush. I would see guys do it all the time. It's crazy. Show up at all these different cities. And then you have BLM would do the same thing, but you have these people that just would do it. Like, they weren't being paid to do it. They were just doing it because they like to like square off. They like the excitement of like being on the front lines, I guess, and battling the police and all that. I will tell you this: it's like a war type setting. It's the closest thing that you're ever going to get to in your life if you never signed up to the military or anything like that. It's like, go to one of these major cities when one of these big events are going down and there's clashes and stuff like that. You've got chemical munitions being used and sometimes real munitions and all this other stuff. It's closest that you're going to get. And I've literally have seen and come across people that like go to those events just to thrive off the frontline energy. They'll run around on the front line back and forth, dodging rocks and rubber bullets, and and they're not filming, they're not live streaming. Like, I go there to live stream it so all y'all could see what's happening when I do it. But these dudes are just out there for the rush. It's crazy. All right. U.S. military reveals video evidence of an encounter with a disc-shaped UAP or UFO. And I'm going to play this real quick. Got this and one more we'll touch on here before we shut it down for the evening. You can see in this clip right here, you can see it. And this is kind of like the best still and the best shot is right here. It's all it looks like through the whole thing. It just shows it moving.
Tonight on the Future of Everything, we've got...
Mute this guy. And you can see it like right there. Back us up again. Like, you see it, they keep repeating it. It's going through in the sky. It shifts across in the sky now. What I don't like right there, you can see this disc. It's the government. They're showing a disc floating by. And it's so crappy and grainy and all this, but this is part of soft disclosure. I told you that a lot of this is going to be going on this year. Unfortunately, a lot of it is this crappy stuff like this. Although they did come out and they showed everybody this egg. They had hieroglyphic writing on it and all this other stuff, and they said that was real deal. Found in a faraway place. What were they saying? Antarctica? Under the ice sheet, underground in a tunnel, and they went to extract it. They extracted it that way or some crap, or they still, like, man, this is a game. Again, it's a big PSYOP. They could take you inside of what you would consider to be a UFO tomorrow, like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, or like MTV Cribs, and like show you every nook and cranny, the bathroom, all this stuff. They could show you it in a heartbeat and get it over with and done. And it may be right around the corner, but I don't know. I don't know. They're playing a certain amount of things here on Trump's card. I don't know if the UFO alien card is on his watch. Maybe toward the end. Just doesn't seem like that's going to be one that they play tomorrow, but I guess you never know. At some point, they have to step the game up here with this release. I'm expecting them to. There's going to be a few things that happen. Let me remind you, when it comes to the drones, they basically put on display for anyone that was watching that they unveiled a brand new technology, multiple technologies with the drone that could outrun all of our military aircraft. And they turned around and said it was us. It was us. It was us. So they've got that. Like, when are they gonna like really come out and like state what it was, like show us and like everything else, and like explain all this technology instead of keeping it this big mystery and secret? Like, it was like a carrot on a stick, and like they showed us everything, what it's capable of doing, outrunning all of our aircraft, outrunning their gas tanks. It's not picked up on heat signature. Like, all right, how? And then they turned around and said it was us. It was, and we knew it was them because they had FAA lights on them. Come on, enemy UFOs, other life isn't doing that. Like, abiding by FAA standards. So we're waiting for, I guess, another answer on that. Again, a bit of a bigger disclosure, I feel. And this last one is pretty shocking, but not too shocking to me, but pretty shocking. Musk wants Grok, his AI, his artificial intelligence, to rewrite the entire corpus of human knowledge. To create the digital library of Alexandria, but with what they want to put in it. That's the scary thing here. It's whatever they want to put in it, whatever they want to train it on in all this. So look, this is the same Elon that came out and he's on record, just like Peter Thiel, saying that they're trying to summon the demon. We know the geek is up what's going on now. It's the jinn, the evil jinn on the other side. That's the intelligence. That's what's speaking through, bleeding through this electronic Frankenstein type of apparatus they've created for it to speak through. And it's working. And it's going deeper and deeper. And they've even told us with CERN. They're trying to fold the next dimension in on this one and do all types of other crap. But he wants to rewrite, like for the history books. Like if you, that way when people, it makes me sick. I already see people doing it. Like over on X, they'll be like, Grok, is this true? And it's like, hold on. Like, what are you doing? You're already asking AI, you're already basing your every move and putting factual belief into what Grok's response is. When Grok has already been shown time and time again to be wrong and to do bad things. We've shown you what this AI's done. Even turning on its engineers, blackmailing them, and all that other stuff. And that it's been, that Grok itself in its search results has been flat out wrong. Flat out wrong. And caught pushing agenda type stuff. Already. So for you to just put blind faith into going over, well, Grok said, duh. Well, like, screw you. Like, you're an idiot. Like, it's people like that. Like, I'm just, when I see them doing this out there, like, you know, I just block and ban you. That's right. When I see stupidness, I block and ban it. I don't need anywhere around me. I need to show my feed later. I don't need to see any of it. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done with the ignorance of this planet and the people of this realm. I've tried so hard to wake people up and show them the way out. It's about that time. So, like, when it's all said and done and it all pops off, I'll be lightweight glad. Because, like, a majority, obviously not the beautiful people listening in right now, all of you that join all the time, but a majority of the lemmings out there, and you know it, that don't listen. They're taking the ship down. That's why it works. The beast system wouldn't work if they didn't accept it. If they all rejected it. And see, they thought they had it figured out. They thought they had it figured out with the whole CBDC thing. They heard it was bad. I can't stress it enough. Trump wrote him an executive order, threw it to him like a bone, to a dog, and they accepted blockchain with the other hand. The Trump coin, world financial, all that. Because they never took a second to use the brain power of why it was bad. They always expected someone else to do all the thinking for them, which is ridiculous. Okay, you didn't do an ounce of research as to why it was bad, because if they would have seen that blockchain, and blockchain's not even bad. That's where the next problem was. People stopped there like, oh, the blockchain, and thinking all of it's bad, which is not. Blockchain's like a gun. It's like a car. It can be used for good things for good people, bad things for bad people. You will never get the good out of it, though, with bad people running this place. You see, that's where we're at. That's the understanding you need to have. It's like any other technology that's out there. It could do great things, wonderful things. Blockchain could for businesses, storing information, technology, but not when you got bad people wanting to use it to track your every move. Okay, so nothing changes until you grow the kahunas to confront the beast. And all the people on the MAGA train, you just jumped on the beast train. It's all this is the federal government. Who do you think the beast is? Mic drop. Yeah. Most of you get it. For all the cats that are new to the stream, make sure to hit subscribe. I'm dropping the truth here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Trying to 3 times a week, 9 o'clock. I want to thank all you guys that join us. Give some shout outs here as I take us out of here for the evening. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Spiro, get at me. Much love, my brother. Much love, everybody. God bless you all. And let me say this, some closing comments. We've got breaking reports that a 7-story building in Beersheba, southern Israel, was just hit by an Iranian ballistic missile. And it did a lot of damage. So, ceasefire. He comes like a thief in the night. Much love, y'all.